I was tagged in this post, and I'm so glad that I was tagged. This woman named Grit Like Seabiscuit says it must be so confusing to be a single man in an era where it's becoming increasingly harder to manipulate a woman into being your unpaid housekeeper, ex worker, therapist, secretary, baby incubator. I almost sympathize. And I do honestly believe that this is one of the main reasons for the big divergence between men and women, because they're not just getting their wife appliance simply for because they show up with a peen and a job. They actually have to be likable, because now women can actually financially support themselves or financially support ourselves. So we have to be motivated to actually be in and stay in a relationship. And these dudes simply don't want to be likable. They don't want to adapt to 2025. So I thought that this was an interesting conversation, and to see what some of the men are saying on this post. This comment is not the first comment under her post, because this is an hour ago and she did this 16 hours ago. But this person says, there are more single baby mamas and ex-workers than ever. So y'all are already baby incubators, housekeepers, and ex-workers. But secretary and therapist, what? What I don't like about these types of people is that they always take their hand, they go to their behind, they pull their opinion out their butts, because nothing that they say is actually rooted in reality. I did actually respond to that young man saying, I have no idea where y'all even base some of these talking points on. The birth rates have been dropping for years. Women are having less babies per woman. Y'all honestly never base your opinion on anything outside of something that you pull out your behind. So I did actually say something, because literally for the young people, and these are rates for ages 25 to 29, 15 to 19, and 20 to 24. They have been dropping for years. Young women are having less and less babies, and we're having babies later in life because many women are actually focused on our education and our careers. And for that reason, the mom to wife pipeline is drying up. The mom to wife pipeline is drying up because women are focused on themselves more so than getting married straight out of high school, because women actually have opportunities to go to school. And our mothers and grandmothers and aunties are actually pushing us to go to school and focus on our education. And so what that means is a longer time between the time that a dude leaves his mama's house to the time that he's actually shacking up or married to a woman. There is a longer time that he actually has to live on his own. That's what I talk about when I talk about the mom to wife pipeline. And a lot of women these days are even saying that they don't even want to be married. So that mom to wife pipeline might continue to dry up even more, simply because these dudes these days are so unlikable. But let me get back to my comment. I said the mom to wife pipeline is drying up. Men are having to do their adulting without a woman. In times past, they had a wife appliance making home life smoother. Now women are getting married later, and men have to do their own task and go to work. It's definitely impacting their money. And I was using this to respond. I was responding to this comment right here. This person named Sonic Toad, and this is who actually tagged me into the post, says, hat tip to Stephanie O'Connell for this statistical observation. All right, so let's look at this just a little bit closer. Okay, so the caption says, if you want to understand why single men are treated as victims of a crisis and single women are treated as selfish villains, it's because access to a wife's unpaid labor enables this. Married men get paid more money. They have always done that because our country is built on sexism and racism. So that's already true. But married men get to just go to work and focus strictly on work because they have the opportunity to do so, because they have a wife at home that's taking care of the admin, taking care of the kids, doing the grocery shopping, all of that. So all they have to do is take a shower, put on their clothes, and go to work. They have someone handing them their coffee, because, well, they might not do that, but these days, but they do have someone that is doing the majority of the things within the home. So the top line is married men and how much more money they make, especially over the years. Married men have always made more money. Now look at this right here. Married women, and single men all make about the same amount of money. Single men are on par with single women and married women. What changes married men make more money. They get access to the unpaid labor of their wife, even if their wife is working, and they make more money. Take a screenshot of this. Let me get out the way. Take a screenshot of this. This is amazing. Look at that. Single men are right in alignment with women. Marriage is the key. Marriage is the linchpin on why they make more money. So that's the reason why right now, the young women of right now, if they forego marriage for a while, if they do want to eventually get married, if they forego kids for a while until later on, once they get financially stable, they will be making more money or as much money as men. That graph definitely spoke volumes. And that's the reason why they keep pushing this 1950s type of propaganda, because they want to get women back in the kitchen, back in the home, and out of the workforce, because they know that men win when women are taking a step back and literally just sacrificing themselves for the man to go to work. So that's the reason why they keep putting out these AI pictures of these women. This person, and we've already seen a version of this picture like last week or the week before. Imagine how much propaganda it took to convince women that this is oppressive. And obviously they have to do it with white folks. Because if you were a non-white person, a non-white family, everybody had to go to work because racism dictated your wages wouldn't be enough to support a family. So everybody had to work. So all of this is all revisionist history. Even white women had to go to work at times. Like this whole thing, this is simply revisionist history anyway. But they're going to keep on pushing it because they need women to go back home so that the men can get that unpaid labor and support. So over here, I was talking about the mom to wife pipeline drying up. And then this person named Edgy Fish Stick says, it's so crazy how many old couples come into my job with the husband grunting in Morse code and the wife just ordering for him. Men are forced to grow up now. No more bang maids that have to learn a-hole Morse code just to survive. I'm happy women are seeing their worth as people and embracing it. And then I was like, okay, I'm giggling at a whole Morse code. Like, really, these dudes have to learn how to communicate. They can't just grunt. They can't do the stoic silent treatment, because women are like, look, if you don't want to communicate with me, I'm not going to continue with this. Because women trying to communicate, it gets seen as nagging and all of that. And women are like, look, if I'm going to be the ball and chain, if everything that I'm saying gets misconstrued as nagging, I'm going to leave. And that's the reason why so many women are literally leaving. Now, this person named God Body Gotti says, quite frankly, most of us are happier, and thanks to women empowerment, sex without commitment is even easier than before. The only thing confused is women's bloated sense of entitlement and importance. They keep saying that, but I am not seeing that women are just like saying free goodies for everybody. I see women opting out all over the place as far as sex, dating, marriage, and babies all across the board. I do not believe that they are getting the free peaches all over the place like they are saying. Grit Like Seabiscuit shared this op-ed and this quote. It says, it's worse for unmarried men. 1 in 5 of them report that they have no close friends, and 1 in every 4 of those younger than 30 say they have no close friends at all. And so they're talking about the male loneliness epidemic in articles and all these things, but then the men come on social media like, yeah, we're just getting it all. We're getting it all for free. They're acting like they're so happy, but they're also the ones that are shaming women for opting out. It's like, yeah, they really want to push women into wanting marriage again. Because like women used to clamor for a ring, and now women are like, I'm okay. I'll just go get a degree and get myself set up instead. I'm not going to do this whole article, but it's titled, Why Are Men So Lonely? It was written last January 2024. All right, it says, few men will admit it, but it's true of most of them. They're lonely. The epidemic of loneliness is hitting men hardest. Men are less skilled than women at making friends. Young men, who tend to be more progressive and are presumably more comfortable with intimacy than their elders, are in fact the most isolated. people keep talking about it. These people do not have very many friends, and they're not working on their social skills or being supportive or anything. They're, in fact, just berating women online. So it's just going to continue the cycle. Anyways, chime in. Let me know what you think.